From what countries are those guns from? Somebody give me yes.
Ukraine.
Ukraine did not exist at that point in time. Ukraine was never a country until now.
Okay.
Ukraine has always been under Russia or Poland or vice versa.
Na Ukrainie.
Okay, anybody else?
Russia.
Russia, okay, Russia. Yeah.
England?
Germany, somebody said, okay. Poland did not produce weapons at one time. Okay, so we got, I have 7 countries here. We got 2 out of the 7.
France.
France. Okay.
Probably Austria.
Austro-Hungarian Empire. Mm-hmm. That's 4.
British.
British Empire.
How about Italy?
Italy, question mark. Yeah, put down question mark after it.
How about Spanish? No.
No, most of the Spanish weapons that time were produced by Germany. Good guess. How many we have? 6? One more.
Japan.
Oh, it's not fair, you were sitting here.
Who?
U.S.
Japan.
I don't know what you were talking about. I wasn't listening.
Japan. Okay. So basically, the weapons that were, and I'll go over each one starting from each country. The weapons that the Poles used, Russia, because that was Poland was partitioned into Russia. Germany, because Poland was partitioned into Germany. In Austria-Hungary, Poland was partitioned then. France, the Blue Army, and was supplied with French weapon. They were supplied, I'll go over the weapon. And the Poles also bought weapons from France. England sold, I know, definitely one. The other one, depends where you read it. It's a yes, no, maybe type of situation. But I assume they would have sold it. But one of them was even used by the Polish border guards almost up to World War II. The strange one is Japan. Most of us don't think of it, but the Russians bought, like I think, 1.5 million weapons from Japan. And if you study Japanese history up to 1848, when Commodore Perry came to Japan, they were still using matchlock. Matchlock is, you had a touch over there with a little pan, and you had a wick burning, and you put some powder on your pan, and the wick would come down, ignite the powder to shoot it. I don't think the Japanese ever went through the flintlock stage. And I don't think they spent much time on the percussion stage, so they kind of jumped into, now this strange thing if you take a look at it, in 1905, there was a heck of a nice war between Japan and Russia. And the Russians found out the Japanese were good soldiers. So let's take a look, starting off with Russian weapons. The basic Russian weapon they had is this one right here. It's Mosin Nagant Model 91. Okay? It's 5 rounds in line. They were made by Tula Ishmish. A French company made them that nobody wants to admit that they made them. They were pieces of junk. And believe it or not, 2 were made in the United States by New England Westinghouse in Remington. And a lot of them went into England, United States, bought some stuff. So they had this. They also had the Kazakh carbine. This is not a Kazakh carbine, but it is a correct period weapon. This is a 1908. The history of this weapon is phenomenal. It was with the Czechoslovakian Legion during the Bolshevik Revolution, and if you want to read something interesting, read about the Czechoslovakian Legion. True soldiers. Pillage, baby, pillage. Okay? The bullets that this type of gun used, they either came with a stripper clip, like this one here, where there would be 5 in a row, or you pack them individually. A lot of soldiers didn't like the stripper clips because when you put them in, you had to make sure that when they went in, they were going in like this in front of it. So when the bolt came forward, it would pull the bullet. But what would happen with a lot of stripper clips, one of them would go like this, behind the bullet below it, and when you went to load it, you have stoppage. Now you gotta clear it. In the military, that usually means say goodbye, because your weapon is not operative right now. The characteristics of the Russian weapons, if we take a look, it was called the Handgun, 91, 1910, 1907, 1905. They're called Kazakh carbines. The caliber is 7.6. When you see the caliber 7.6, that's the diameter of the bullet. 54 is the length of the case. Just the case, meaning this. This is the case, that's the length of that. The letter R does not stand for Russian. A lot of people think it stands for Russian. It stands for rimmed cartridge. Maximum range of 2,500 meters. That was lopping. You know, into formation, they were still under the concept of the battlefield of honor, X amount of people marching, and they would just lob the bullet. You hit somebody, hit. The pistols the Russians had is a Handgun pistol, not invented by Russia. I'm sorry, revolver, not a pistol. It's a 7-shot revolver. The uniqueness of this revolver is this can have a silencer on it. That's the only revolver that is made that you can thread the barrel, put a silencer on it. Because what happens when you squeeze the trigger, the cylinder moves forward and it locks up on the barrel, so there's a complete seal. The uniqueness of this ammo is also very unique ammo that you typically, until about 10 years in this country, was almost impossible to find. Majority of the ammo, the bullet, protrudes out of the case. On a Handgun, the bullet is inside the case. Inside the case. So basically, that's the Russian weapon. The typical rate of fire is about 8 to 12 rounds on those type of weapons. Bolt action. Were there possibly semi-automatic weapons with the pulse head? Possibly. They could have had, the French bought a lot of Winchester 1907, 1910. They were very good weapons. Were they there? I really don't know. I couldn't find it in my research anyplace. Okay? So you're looking 8 to 10. Very nice weapon. Very dependable. To give you an idea of how dependable it is. At the present time, it is still being used in Iraq, Afghanistan, except it's the 9130 version of that. The barrel is about 3 inches shorter. And it's still being used, how dependable it is.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Is that revolver designed with a silencer in mind, or?
No, they, in order to, see on your typical revolver, when you shoot, there's a space between the cylinder and the barrel. A lot of the gas escapes, you know, in all directions. So in order to make the bullet more potent, what they did is they had the cylinder move forward. And what that did is sealed it. So the gas did not escape to the side, so you got more power out of it. That was the only reason for that design. Any question, please ask me. Stop. Okay, next one we have German. The German weapons, you basically, in the rifles, you had two. In the carbine of this one. The GEW or Guaver 98. Guaver means a rifle. So people say, Guaver, listen, Guaver means a rifle. It's a 5-round The Russian one was inline magazine. That means each bullet was on top of each other like this. The Mauser magazine type is staggered like this. So the bullets are staggered like this. That's why you notice this magazine here is inside the furniture, while the Russian is outside. They had those, and they had Weber 88. Weber 88, 98, okay, let me go back one step. When I'm talking models of Germans, Russians, and other countries, it's the year the weapon was accepted. So this is 1891. When I said 1910, carbine, that was when that was developed, okay? When I'm saying Weber 98, 1898, this is Weber 88. So not 1888, this is when the weapon was accepted. Those weapons, you notice there's no tags on them, nothing like this. This is a non-existent weapon. This is empty. There's no paperwork to buy it, because it is prior to 1899. The Weber was in two types. One is this one here. Before it's changed, you notice you have a hole here. What you have to do is you have a stripper like this. You would have your 5 rounds. You push the stripper in, and with lock. There is an arm here. Right here, there's an arm that would push on the bullets, and it would feed one at a time. If you did not have this, it was a single shot. Single shot. Then, what they did with the Webers is they cut out here for, and I forgot to get one, bring one with me. They cut out here so you could use a stripper clip and put 5 rounds in, but the clip would come out. And if you wanted to, you could go 1 bullet at a time, put 5 in here. Where on this one here, you could only put 1. Now, any questions on the rifles? Those are, and they had the carbine version of this one. I don't have one. I'm in business, so sometimes selling them takes priority over putting them aside, because you can only sit so long not selling them. So if we look at the German, Weber means rifle, 88, 98, caliber 8mm Mauser. Again, with the German one, you just say 8mm Mauser instead of 8x57. It's not a rim cartridge. It's rimless. There's no rim outside the cartridge. So like all of this one here have a rim. They would be more or less like this one right here. There's no rim. I can run my finger there. There's the groove here where you could have the extractor to pull it out, but there's no rim to hold it. It's a rimless cartridge. Okay, maximum range 2,000 meters. Revolvers and pistols. Germans had a whole bunch. From the 1883 revolver, the Dreissig, that's the ugliest pistol ever made. That's the one, if you were a private E1 and you captured one of those, the box sergeant coming back, so let's see what you got there, private. You showed him this, he said, keep it. It's 32 caliber to charge it on typical pistols that you pull it on the back. This one here, you got to pull up front here in order to chamber the round. Okay? So you have to pull up front here. It's really ugly. It's very inaccurate. The sights on it are lousy. The one that most people are familiar with would be a Luger. Okay? The Luger, you notice the configuration of it. It's a nice configuration. To be honest with you, in combat, it's a piece of junk. It is a piece of junk. If you take a look you got a pivot point here, you have a pivot point here, you have a pivot point here, and you have a slide here. If you get jerked in any of them, it will not go all the way forward. So it will not chamber you around completely. You like this, you can't shoot it. You will go this down. This one, the value of this one, some values. This one here has a lot of value because it's antique. It has the value of being antique. So this one here probably about 300. This one here about 350, 400 easy. Those here about 300. This is about 400. And now, probably if I put it on gunbroker, the condition it's in being a two-tone, I would not be surprised if I got 1,500 or more for it.
So you go for the price. Because it's so rare.
It's shape, and people love loopers. People love loopers, okay? The next one that some people might be familiar with is this one here. This is a Mauser broom handle, okay? You basically put your bullets into here, and you have to have a stripper for them. This one here happens to be 7.63 by 25. So you take those 8 bullets, put them in here, and push down. Okay, and push down all the bullets you put in. Nice gun. The Chinese loved it. The Chinese loved those guns. This one here in 7.63 by 25. They also made it in 9mm, 9mm Luger, 9mm Parabellum. It's 9 by 19. 9 against diameter. 19 means length of the case. Then going down here, there would have been a revolver. They had some of those. This would have been a Mauser. This happens to be 1914 Mauser. That was a very popular weapon. This would have been a Walther. In the Russian army, German army, the higher range, the smaller the gun. So this is like a Model 8. This is again a, I forgot what this one is. It's a Walther, approximately 1916. This one here needs work. So with the Germans, there was a lot of weapons.
That previous Walter, is that the one that James Bond used to use?
Something close to it, the PPK, yeah. I really don't like Walther. I happen to like Russian pistols. They're more dependable. One thing about any Russian weapon is designed to be used by the lowest intelligent people. You know, to take the bolt out on a Russian weapon, right there, the bolt is out. AK-47, 4 parts. M16, right. Okay. Again, take the bolt out on the German Mauser, pull this back, then pull this out, and the bolt comes out. And the Russian just squeeze the trigger and out it comes. Again, some of the calibers they had for the pistols. This is what this class is about. So here you have 7.62 by 54R. You got 8mm. 7.62 by 38 on the Russian, on the Germans. 10.55 on the revolver. 7.65, which is a 32. 7.63 by 25. 9mm, and some 25 caliber. So this is all the caliber. Usually those here were in the officer corps. So it was not that much of a supply problem as it was for the 8mm ammo. The officers typically, it was their responsibility to be able to supply their own ammo. You know, officers, they got their own world. They live like kings. Anybody believes that, it's the biggest lie in the world. Next, we have the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Don't tell me I don't have my Austrian with me.
Oh, did it fall on the floor?
Is the one on the floor? Yes, no, that's the British. The Austrian might be on you. Kind of tight, so I apologize for it. Okay, Austro-Hungarians. The Austrians had basically two weapons of their own. Now, they had more than that in their own army during World War I. I'm just going what they manufactured. The Austro-Hungarian, the primary weapon was the Steyr 95. It basically is a unique weapon. Who handles this weapon here? Anybody handle the weapon here? Come on, come over here. Come on, Mark. Come over here. Move the ball, come on. Move the ball on it.
Signature?
No safety, you can move it, no problem. I set you up, Mark, okay? This is one of the 4 guns. There is a straight pull. Notice on the other ones they did this. This one here, straight back. Straight pull. There was only 4 rifles that were made in straight pull. That was the Ross by the Canadians. When a Canadian had a Ross rifle and a British soldier died, he grabbed his Enfield and threw the Ross away. Beautiful rifle for competition shooting, lousy for combat. The other one is a Schmidt-Rubin K91, 1911 and K31, which is straight pull. We in the United States had the Lee Enfield back in the 1890s, 1895. We used it during the Spanish-American War. The Spaniards actually thought that we had machine guns because it's such a quick firing because you basically have this. So what they did, I'm not that experienced, but basically bring it in and fire. Bring it in and fire with the pinky. They also, and this was in 8mm by 50, it was before the Spitzer. Spitzer means it has a point. The original rounds for those guns were round like this one here. Okay? So the Spitzer. And usually you can tell on those weapons, on here there'll be letter S. This one here is the old decommissioning, it doesn't work anymore, it's still classified as a real weapon. The letter S meaning it's been Spitzerized. Their other one was a Steyr, and this one here was a model of 1886. This again is a tube magazine fitting, and this one here was 850 caliber R. You took and you put this down, then you took your bullets, you pushed them in one at a time. The reason they were round there, if you were pointed on this gun, if the bullet was pointed, and you shot it, the recoil, bullet A is sitting in there like this. This is the primer. That's what causes the ignition. Bullet A sitting on bullet B's. So bullet B sitting on bullet A's primer. So when you fire it, the concussion, there will be a possibility of ignition occurring. Kind of ruin your day. You know, your hands are kind of laying there on the ground, the blood is gushing, it ruins your day. So, that's it. Okay? Let me go back. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to rush too fast. The bayonets for me. This is for the Russian. This is not the correct bayonet. The correct bayonet would have not had this one here. There would have been a ring here with a screw to put it on. And once you put the Russian bayonet on, it stayed on. Okay? I can put this one on maybe. See, I can put it on, but it's not the correct bayonet. You carry them like this, The reason of this particular shape was so nice for that time frame. You were looking to disable and kill as many people with this type of bayonet. When it went in, you kind of twist it. Open up the window a little bit, twist it back, comes out easier too. Okay? That's the Russian bayonet. The Germans, basically it was just a bayonet like this, about this long. They had some longer ones. They had longer ones. This is the common length, but they also had them about this long. Okay?